All right, let's get started. Today we're going to talk about containers of Python. In fact, we talked about lists last time. Container, as the name suggests, it helps us contain some items. And list is a sequence of items. We saw this. And there's one thing I need to talk about, that is slicing. Let's say we define a list like this, containing some odd numbers. And I told you that we can convert a sequence of numbers into a list using this list function or initiator. And what we want to do is print all right. And we can also, so what it does is it returns the length of a list. All right. So this odds I returns just a single item. All right. So I changes from 0 to 4, right? So odds 0 and odds 1 are going to be 3 and 5. And that has the length of 1. All right. So if you print out the length of, okay. I think I need to discuss in a little bit later. And we can use the function max and function mean to find out the minimum and the maximum value among this list. All right. And what I want to do is like this. Let's say we have numbers like this. And we want to find or collect the squares of these numbers. And what we can do is, using this for loop for x in nums, squares dot append x squared like this. Then the result is squared of numbers in this num list. All right. And what we can do is shortening this part by using list comprehension. So this is slicing, accessing just a part of subset of items inside a list. And here, what we're discussing is list comprehension. So what I want to do is shorten this part. So rather than defining a for loop, we can create the same squares like this. So squares list and squares underbar 2 have the same values. So basically, these two operations have the same effect. All right. So we can shorten this one as this one, and this process is called list comprehension. All right. I'm going to give you another example. And list comprehension is very important because this one is called Pythonic programming, because in Python, we want to shorten some complicated expressions into shorter ones. And this one is called Pythonic style. So this feature does not, other languages like C++ or Java do not have this kind of features. This one is only for Python. And I'm going to give you another example. This was for numbers. This list comprehension was for numbers. And we can do the same thing for strings. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Let's say we have this variable, sentence. And we can collect words from this sentence using split function. All right, then what words are going to be? It is a list of words. So if you call this split function, it will split the given sentence and make it into a list of words inside this sentence. All right. And what we can do is, for wording words, if word is not the, let's say we define a word length list like this. And if the word is not the, then we want to add the length of this word to this list. All right. And the result is going to be, we'll skip this part because it is the. And when it comes to quick, it has the length of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we go to the next one, and the length is also 5, length is 3, length is 5, 4, and the is skipped. And this one has the length of 4, and this one has the length of 3. So that is why 5, 5, 3, 5, 4, 4, 3 appear here. All right. So this is quite simple, right? And we can shorten these 3-line expressions into a single line expression. So I'll show you how to do this. Land word or word in words if word is not the. So basically, this one does the same job as this part. All right. So what we do is basically iterate through the items inside this list. Means items inside this list. So this part is iterating through the items inside this list. And we can add some condition at the end like this. All right. So compared to this one is squaring the numbers inside this nums list. All right. So this is called list comprehension. So basically we are shortening for loop into a single expression, single line expression. That is all. All right. Any questions up to this point? All right, cool. So list comprehension is basically creating some special lists from existing lists. All right. So you can think of it as transforming a given list into another with a single line expression. And another cool thing we can do is we can iterate through 2 lists at the same time. Let's say we have these 2 lists. And what we can do is so this one is basically let's transform this one into 2 for loops. So we are iterating through 2 lists. So this one basically does this job, double loops, all right? So you can iterate through two lists in a single line expression, all right? And there was a very good question. In this case, we call a function at the end of this entity or object. But when it comes to max or min functions, we pass the parameter inside this parentheses. So what are the differences? That is a very good question. This will be clear. This will be clearer when we discuss objects, object-oriented programming. At the moment, you can think of it as this append is only applicable for these lists. So this function is not actually function, but it is called method. This one belongs to lists. Other objects cannot use this append function. However, max can take in any types of entities like lists or some numbers or tuples, what we are going to talk, tuples that we are going to talk in a later, talk in short. So for functions that accept parameters in this way, can process many types of parameters. However, you can call this append function only for lists. You cannot use append for other objects. And when it comes to string.split, you cannot use this split function, split only for strings. You cannot call this split for other objects. Right? You cannot call this one for list. All right. So that is the difference. Okay. And I would like to give you some practice questions. The first one is, what will be the results of running this code?